I'll wait till we hit record and then I'll go. There we go. All right, hello everyone and welcome. Good morning. Again, my name is Martin Guerrero from Square. I'm from our community affairs and small business advocacy team. I work on our education initiative, so excited to be here with y'all. Dialing in here from Phoenix, so your neighbor here. Just mentioning to the folks that my family and my wife's a teacher, and of course I have a son in school. So anytime they get a 3-day weekend, we hop in the car and head to San Diego. So one of my favorite cities out there. So excited to be here. Today we're going to be kind of breaking this up into 2 sessions. So this first one, we're going to be talking about bringing your business and your brand online. And Jessica or Wesley, if you can just give me a thumbs up if you can see my slides here. Just want to make sure those are visible.
I can't see it just yet.
Yeah, I don't see
Okay.
it.
Okay, that's why I wanted to check. All right, sometimes it takes a little hesitation here. Let me try it again. That's not it. Try again here. Sorry about that. Not sure why that's acting that way. There we go. You would think these things just work easier nowadays, but they don't.
Martine, it's Colleen. It said you started sharing, but there was no display.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. So I'm trying to
Weird.
figure out what's.
I saw it
What's going on?
briefly though when we were waiting to start. I did see your cover page come up earlier.
How about now?
Nope.
That is really weird.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
There?
Woohoo!
Okay.
Yep, that works.
All right. Yeah, like I said, you would think these things just work nowadays. Like we've done it so much. All right, cool. All right, so yeah, today we're doing bringing your business and your brand online. So if you've thought of getting online, or maybe you have a real basic online presence, we're going to just talk about some of the things that are required or just kind of table stakes now for having an e-commerce solution. As we know, having an e-commerce solution is vitally important to any business today, whether you're brick and mortar today and are looking to expand to it, or you're both, or just online, right? You still want to be able to compete with all of the other websites that are out there. So for us here at Square, right, having your own store is crucial to us, and for a couple of reasons. Number one, you have complete creative control, right? So anything and everything that goes on that website is what you've put there, what you decided to put there, and how you want it represented. So you're able to do that versus having a third-party platform where you're kind of limited. And some of those third-party platforms are great. We'll kind of go into some of those as well. But having your own online store really is about having creative control. It's also where you have full control over your pricing, right? With some third parties, marketplaces, things like that, which are great for bringing in new customers, but eventually you want to have them, on your own website where you have complete control over your pricing, your margins, everything, the way everything displays, the way you talk about your products, the way you describe your products, all of that is completely up to you. And then the last one, probably one of the most vital ones, is the relationship with your customers, right? When they're going to your website, they're purchasing from you, they're your customer versus buying your products and services on someone else's platform and being that platform's customer. Again, those other platforms can be great to bring customers to you, but eventually you want them doing business with you directly on your website and through your specific channels. And a big part of that is the data. That data is yours. You can see who's coming to your site, how many visits, and how you're interacting with those folks. So having your own online store is owning, your own store. So when you talk about, and as we go along, feel free. I know we have a smaller group today, so feel free to just throw any questions in the chat as we go along, and I'll just get to them as we go through. So feel free. When we talk about why you want to get online, these are on the left-hand side here. We see some of the more common reasons why most folks want to be online, right? Or they say they want to be online. And I want to attract traffic, grow my audience. I want to showcase my products. I want to kind of share what I know. And those are all great, but they don't really have a set goal in mind, right? The purpose for having that website. When someone tells me, oh yeah, I want to showcase my products, really the end goal there is to sell those products, right? Let's not hide that fact. You want to sell your products, you're a business. That's how you're going to stay in business, is by selling those goods and services. So we want to make sure we're focusing on that goal and doing what we need to do to achieve that. Right? When someone says they want to share what they know, it's because they want to be looked at as an expert in that field, or they're looking to book more speaking engagements so folks can listen to what they have to say, see them as a subject matter expert, right? So they can again, that's their business, booking those speaking engagements. And then entertaining your, advertise your business. Of course, we all want to advertise our business. A website is a great reason to do that, but what's the end goal there? If you're a consultation business, right, you want to increase your consultation registrations, right? You want to have that base there for folks to learn more about you, to know what you do, have maybe some reviews, some testimonials, and then book a consultation or an appointment with you, or buy your products and services. That's the end goal, right? And so knowing what that end goal is really helps you to help build that website and streamline it. So going over website essentials, right? These are going to be what really any small business website has. I mean, we're all online shoppers, right? We're all customers of other businesses. So these won't be, foreign to you. They're going to be things that just are there, and most every website is set up that way, right? Then the first one is a logo, right? If you don't have a logo for your business, you absolutely should look at investing in getting one. They're very, very inexpensive nowadays. But again, as a consumer, when you go to a website, usually when you open that website, one of the first pieces of content you're going to see is the logo, right? Either up in the upper left-hand corner or right in the upper center there. And again, that logo is going to match your overall color, your branding, right? That's going to send a clear signal as to where they're at and who they're doing business with. The second one is a search box, right? And the search box, it's great because even if folks don't use the search box, having a search box, and especially having that in the upper fold of the website. And when we talk about that, we talk about the first pieces of content you see when you get to a website, right? It kind of goes back to the newspaper days, the fold, right? When a newspaper was folded, you really saw like the main headline, the main photo there. That's the prime real estate of a website. Usually you'll see it up in the upper right-hand corner, search box there. Just having that there is a key to let folks know that, hey, if you want to look for something on our website, absolutely, you can just type in your keywords and search it and find it, versus having to dig through our website or going through unnecessary information, right? We're not going to force you to read all 50 pages of our website to get to one specific thing that you may be looking for. Again, it's just an indicator there that hey, they're not hiding anything. Everything is available to search easily and quickly, right? It's a psychological factor there. The footer, every website has a footer, and the footer is the bottom portion of the bottom of a website page, right? That's usually where you're going to see things like your social media links, your contact information, your logo. Again, prime real estate here as well. Most research on website visitation is, it usually starts in the upper left-hand corner. Usually that's where their logo is, right? And then in a Z formation goes across. And most folks, when they're going to your website the first time, they're just kind of scanning through it. And they're usually going to scan right to the bottom of the website, and that's where your footer is. That's a great place to put some of your content. Some of that content being your social media links, right? So showing your that you have a Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever that might be, and that goes again to social proof. Everyone who's doing business with you, especially the first time they're doing business with you, they're going to look into you. And by doing that, they're going to usually find your social media and go to it and find it. Again, making it upfront, visible, easy to see it, right? It lets them know that, hey, there's nothing to hide here. Here's our social media. Go check us out. see what other folks are saying about us, right? See what people are commenting, sharing, and you get to see what's all happening there. The primary image, again, this is that very first image you're going to see, also sometimes referred to as the hero image, that first big image in your main banner that folks see. Usually it's either going to be your product, or maybe, you know, if you're a sole proprietor and you're the business, might be a great image of you, right? Again, this is something that can catch someone's attention, let folks know who they're doing business with, what kind of website it is, especially if it's, you know, a specific product. Seeing that product right up front, right, again, it makes that really, really appealing to your visitors. Goes without saying, and we'll talk about mobile towards the end as well. Your website has to be mobile optimized, and most website solutions out there are already mobile optimized, you know, already for you for the most part. It used to be that you had to build a desktop website and you had a separate mobile website. For the most part, those days are long gone. It's usually the same site, and the site is responsive. So, but again, when you're doing this the first time, definitely something you'll want to check into, because again, everyone is doing everything on their mobile phone, and we'll go into a little more detail on that a little bit later. You want to make sure your website is secured. And again, this is one of those things that used to be extra. You used to have to purchase what was called an SSL. If you're in Zoom on your desktop, you'll see in the address bar there's a little padlock. It might even be green, showing that the site address is secure and any information that's going through is encrypted. This is especially vital for anyone taking payments online, or, you know, contact forms where you're gathering information that can be extracted. That information is encrypted, so no one can just grab it and see what's out there. Again, for the most part, most website platforms have that pre-built in. Square does have their own online solution that's already included, so it's nothing extra that you have to worry about. And then standard pages, the last one here. You know, again, we're all consumers, so thinking about when you go to a website, right? There's obviously the home page, usually going to be like an about page, a contact us, a gallery, a shop page, right? These are really familiar. Really, any size brand website is going to have these types of pages. So, you know, you can have other pages with unique names or different titles, but having something that's really familiar, those standardization type pages, really makes a lot of sense for folks, especially when they're going to your website the first time. All right, going into domain names. So this is going to be your address on the internet, right? So, you know, square.com, mastercard.com, sbdc.com, .org, whatever that might be. This is how folks are going to find you on the internet. And so when you're looking at purchasing a domain name for your business or your brand for the first time, or maybe you're looking to rebrand, right? It's just some tips and tricks here for when you're registering a domain name. Obviously, we know .com is by far the most common name. It was one of the first, it was, if not the first domain name available to the public. So again, that makes sense that it was, it's the most common, along with like .net, .info, .org. If you can get the .com, I highly recommend getting that first. But you want to make it easy to spell and memorable, right? So as short and sweet as possible as you can, do that. Avoid, you know, just complex spellings, different variations of spellings. Be aware of that. Like one I see a lot is the word express, right? So let's say you're doing an express car washes. .com, right? Is it EX, or are you just using the X and using that, right? If you're not handing out a business card or a flyer, and you know, maybe someone just doesn't hang on to that, and they're looking for your website, and you've registered the Express just with the X, but they're, you know, accustomed to typing in the E, they're going to go to a different website altogether, and maybe it's a competitor, and you lose business. So another one is like, with numbers, right? So like the number, is it the number 5 or is it FIVE, right? Again, you want folks to make it easy to remember, non-confusing. And again, that works with numbers, with hyphens. A domain name, you can only have letters, numbers, and hyphens. I would avoid hyphens if at all possible, just because most folks aren't going to remember to include a hyphen because it's not all that common. Usually folks with really, really long domains or complex domains will put hyphens in between the words, and it makes it even more confusing. So I'd avoid that as well. If you don't have, when we're talking about keywords and researching it, looking up what keywords people are searching for, like if in your business area, you can use specific Google tools to look up what keywords folks are searching for to find a specific business, and maybe you want to have that keyword in your business name, right? I saw an example of this when having to replace my windshield. The business had a unique name, and it had windshield repair in it, but the first part I don't remember the first name, but it was unique. But their domain name was like phoenixwindshieldrepair.com, right? Very basic, but that's something. Those are key words, right? I'm in Phoenix. I type in Phoenix, and I'm looking for a windshield repair or replacement. Those are the keywords that I would type in. Their domain name has those specific keywords, and then it goes to their website. So it can help with like search engine optimization, helping folks find you if you have like a really, really unique name, and most folks maybe are not going to type in your name to find you. Having those keywords might be helpful. And then if you find a domain name, if you're looking for domain names and you find one that you really like and it's available, I recommend just locking it in, even if maybe you're not completely decided on that brand name. Domain names, short, sweet, easy.com domain names are difficult to find. So if you do find one that's available, lock it in. They're fairly inexpensive. I mean, you're looking at $10 to $20 a year for a domain name. And they can only be registered in yearly increments up to 10 years at a time. So, I mean, even if it was $10 and you bought it for the full 10 years, when you're looking at $100, not that big an investment. I mean, if it's the domain name you absolutely want and you're planning to be in business, right, it's a great investment. But maybe you're not sure, you register it for 1 year. You do have, for most domains, you have like a 5-day refund policy before you can't, before it's locked in. So if you can find one, you can get it. Another avenue for domain names, for good domain names, is the reseller market. There's a whole industry out there based on folks who buy domain names, they register domain names and resell them, right? There's nothing to stop you from registering a domain name and reselling it. Now, if there's trademark, copyright infringements, that's a whole different deal. But someone could register potential domain names, potential events, things like that. And maybe someone comes up with a business idea like, man, that would be a great domain name, but it's already taken. Oh, it's for sale. And those can be anywhere from $100 up to a couple of $1 million, just depending on the domain name. I know some what they call 3-letter domain names, like jet.com or sky.com or something like that, right? Those are the rarest domain names to get, and those usually will go at auctions for millions of dollars. So it's a whole business model out there. So do your research, look into it. Again, this is going to be what folks are going to use to find you on the internet. You can get multiple domain names and have them all forward to one site. So you're not limited to just having one address. You'll have your one main primary address, which you'll do your marketing around, but you can have other domains all forward to one website. And so once you have your domain name, right, what can you do? What can you do with it? Well, primarily, you're going to connect it to your website. That's the address you're going to market your website to get traffic to and have folks do business with you. The other option is create custom email addresses, right? So if you've got, square.com, right? I can create martine@square.com, or info@mybusiness.com, or president@mybusiness.com, whatever that might be, right? Only you, the registered owner of that domain name, can create email addresses around that address. And then the third thing is, I recommend, if you have a good brand name, domain name, register your social media handles in that same format, so it's consistent all the way through. So for Square, right, all our handles are Square. I'm sure for MasterCard, it's just going to be @MasterCard for most of the social media handles. And again, that's going to be your domain name as well. So it's really, your brand is consistent all the way through. All right. Jessica Wesley, let me know if I'm going too fast. Folks, if you have questions, no question out of bounds, feel free to just throw them in the chat and we'll get to them as we go along here. So feel free. All right. product photography and video. Product photography has been a major source of frustration for businesses, just because now that, I mean, going back now a couple of years back to COVID, right? Folks were not ready to be online, or we're slowly moving online, and we're forced to, to be online quickly, and maybe just weren't ready for it. And one of those areas we saw folks weren't ready for were product photos. And again, if folks are now switching from coming into your boutique or your restaurant to purchase, they're seeing things, they're smelling things, right? That's a whole shopping experience. That's a different experience online, where it's all visual, and those images really need to convey what that product is like, so folks can look at it and really kind of future cast what that product is going to look like in their home, or if it's clothing or jewelry, what it's going to look like on them, or food, what it's going to taste like, right? So having great product photos is key. And that's one of the biggest reasons for online returns, is it didn't look like the picture on the website, right? So it's got to be clear images representing your items as clearly and as cleanly as possible. This image here is an example I use. I mean, it's not a bad image. What I don't like about this image is it's kind of on a glass tabletop there, if you can see that, and it kind of reflects the pattern there. So it really distracts from the overall image, and then the image is kind of mirrored in the glass as well. So that kind of takes away from the image itself. Now you can have colored backgrounds, some designs in the backgrounds. If that's all part of your brand, that's great, as long as it's not taking away from the product photo. So we look at that product, that same photo with the background removed, right? And what we normally would think of, what folks refer to as the Amazon effect, right? If you go to Amazon.com, you'll notice there are no backgrounds on photos. It's usually a photo that's kind of cropped out and placed on a white background, right? That's generally what you'll see on most websites, because it's clean, right? You can see it. In this case, the pastel colors on this board game really stand out, and they work. Now, you could use a pastel color as a background for this image if that's what your brand colors are, to make it kind of pop even more. You could absolutely do that. But just being considerate of that when you're doing your product photography, what that's going to look like. Because again, folks are not going to be able to, touch your product, see your product. They want to, they have to visualize it as much as possible. So your images have to be as clear as they possibly can. So when you're taking product photos, right, what can you do to make sure those come out as cleanly as possible, right? One of these is going to be, because you can absolutely do these product photos yourself, right? The product photography industry has boomed as of late. You had a lot of product photographers who are maybe doing, family, photos or realty photos, and they've kind of switched over to products because it's the same principle, right? They can put up a white background, and they know how to light it and take great angles. But you can do that yourself with most cameras. Most camera phones are going to be able to do that for you just as easily as well. When you're doing this yourself, right, taking more shots than you need, take a bunch, review them, have folks look at them before you post them on your website, and pick the best one. Get close-ups of the details, especially on things where there's a lot of detail there, like some embroidery or jewelry, right? The pattern in there, really getting those close-ups so folks can really see it, they can visualize it. We talked about backgrounds that don't distract. Natural lighting versus studio lighting. What lighting does your product look best in, right? Is it outdoor lighting? Is it just the white studio lights or even a ring light? What's going to bring out the best in your product? And then angles as well, right? And most websites, really any website, you're going to be able to add multiple photos of your product. So having multiple angles, front, back, side, all of that, again, going to you're picturing your buyer is on the website. They're looking at it. They're looking at all the different photos, and they're imagining what that product will, again, if it's a bracelet, what that bracelet is going to look like on them. That's why you'll see a lot of, those, watches and bracelets. You'll see them on a person's, wrist, because again, they can imagine that's their wrist and what it's going to look like on them. And then we'll talk about video next, because it's It's been the king of content as of late, and I mean, if you're on social media at all, you'll notice, most social media is heading towards, is all video based. And just some of the videos that you can have on a website that are going to be helpful to you. Number one, educational videos, FAQ videos, how-to videos. Thinking of a YouTube, right? When you go to YouTube, at least me, I use it now for how to do this. I had to change the light bulb on one of my brake lights the other day, and I just went to YouTube and typed in how to change the rear brake bulb on a specific model car. It gave me how-to instructions on how to do that. Now, if I'm a plumber, a mechanic, someone that has something like that on my website, it's like, oh, like you're showing me how to do that. Or, if I don't want to do it myself, I could hire you to do that. You're an expert. I mean, you're already kind of showing folks how to do it yourself, which means you're confident in your ability to do that. Great way to engage your customers or potential customers with video. Product videos, again, great, showing your product being used, how your product, maybe even how your product is being made. That goes to kind of the company or culture videos, what we refer to a lot as kind of behind the scenes. You'll see one of the most popular keywords out there on social media is hashtag BTS, behind the scenes, right? A jewelry maker might show you how they're actually, melting down some gold to form that into a ring, or a chef might show you, the back kitchen area and where everybody is working and how a dish comes together, versus just showing you the beautiful dining room and how that all looks, right? We're all used to that, but just showing you kind of some of the prep work. An artist, a painter might show you just all the different paints they use, what their studio looks like, right? Just showing just the reality of it, right? Not just everything, the glossy finished product, some of the nitty gritty, what goes on behind the scenes, because folks want to know what kind of goes on behind it, right? We want to, if we're investing in a company, we kind of want to know about that company and know more about their story. So the more you can share about that, the more folks will be able to relate to you. The last one on here, testimonial videos, can be super, super powerful, because even though they're about you and your business, they're not from you, right? So I can have on my website some testimonial videos, and just kind of looking at some of the names on the screen here, I see Stephanie Ross, right? Maybe on my website, Stephanie Ross is doing a testimonial video that she purchased my product and service, and it was great, and it did this or that, and she loved it, right? That's, again, going to some social proof that, hey, here's a real person that bought their product and service that I'm looking to purchase as well, and it did really well for them, right? Of course, me as the business are going to tell you my product or service is great, it's the best, you should use, absolutely buy, use my service, make an appointment, whatever. But we expect that from a business to sell themselves. Having these testimonial videos from other folks aren't necessarily selling your product or service, just again, giving that testimonial that it worked as intended or that they loved it, carries a huge amount of weight. Again, goes towards social proof. All right, so going into calls to action. And again, this is consider the most important thing you want users to do before they leave your site. Again, we're kind of talking about switching from someone shopping with you in person and maybe being able to touch and feel your products and services. Also, when they're in your store, you can direct them, right? Oh, where are the belts? Where are the shoes? Where are the boys' clothes, girls' clothes? Like, you can direct them. You can tell them where to go and what to do, because that's what they're looking for. Same principle here on your website with the call to action, right? You want to tell them what to do, because if you've done what you need to do, you've got your website up and running, you've done your marketing, now that's all done its job, and you've gotten me to your website, what should I be doing there now, right? And that's what a call to action will do. Again, we're all consumers here, we're all online. You'll notice probably some of these are very, very familiar to you, right? So buy now, shop now, upgrade today. Those are calls to action. That's me not being there in person with you, putting these buttons on my website or this text on your website telling you where to go, what to do, right? Give our workout routine a try. Sign up today, receive 25% off your next order, right? These are all calls to action, right? What I want you to do. An example here on the Square website, right? That blue button, start a free online store. It's not a please or a maybe. It's pretty direct, right? Start a free online store. I know by clicking on that button, if I'm going to the Square website and I want to look at their online website builder, that's where I'm going to click to start doing what I want to do, and makes it really simple. Now, you'll notice here kind of a darker background. That bright blue button really sticks out. So making, those calls to action stick out. You can see on that example website now with the dog, shop now, there's that button right underneath their kind of slogan there to do that, right? You're on my website. I've gotten you here. I want you to shop here, right? So click here to shop for all the products and services that you might have seen on my Instagram or on my Facebook or TikTok, whatever that might be. One place you're going to be using calls to action quite frequently is in email marketing. And email marketing still to this day is one of the best returns on investment for a small business, or really any business if done properly. And email marketing is simply that, right? Sending emails to folks that are your customers, potential customers that have interest in you. I get from folks a lot that they don't do email marketing because they don't want to feel like a spammer, right? They're worried about that. I mean, that is something you really don't need to worry about, because the way email marketing works, and especially if you're doing this ethically, is you ask someone to sign up for your email newsletter, right? And we've all seen that on website. You'll get a pop-up, hey, sign up today to get our quarterly newsletter, or hey, sign up to get our newsletter and get 10% off your first purchase, right? You don't have to ever put your email in there if you don't want to, right? It's completely voluntary. So if someone goes to your website, you offer that capability, right? They're going to give you an email address, knowing full well that you're going to send them an email, right? That you're going to market to them. If you've said, hey, I'm going to send you a quarterly email, a monthly or weekly email, right? That's what they can expect. Now, going outside of those bounds is where you can get kind of dicey, right? If you say, hey, sign up for my quarterly newsletter, and you're sending me an email every day, right? That's out of bounds from what we initially agreed on, and that contract, right? Give me your email, I'm gonna do this, right? We agree to it, fine, I expect it. Most folks have a separate email that they use. I do, that I sign up for online for promotions, and I'll go through that email and look for promotions that folks they're offering, and I'll use those, right? Knowing that email box is going to fill up because I do a lot of online shopping, but I know that when I sign up for that, that's what I'm going to get, right? Now, again, if someone goes out of bounds and starts sending me too many, again, I think number one on here is receiving too many emails, right? I'm going to unsubscribe. I can easily do that. Any reputable email marketing program is going to have the ability to unsubscribe already built in per legal reasons, so you don't ever have to worry about that. If you're just starting a website, you can still start collecting emails right from the bat, right from the first day you start publishing, but you don't have to send out an email immediately, right? So you're going to build up that customer base. Obviously, if folks are buying from you, that will become your customer base as well. And then once you feel that you have enough folks that you want to start marketing to, then you can send that, but start gathering those emails right away. Even I see folks still, even today, at like pop-up events, markets, things like that, where folks will even have maybe an iPad with their website on there and the email marketing form there, or even a sign-up sheet, right? Hey, give me name and email to sign up to our newsletter, right? And then later on, they'll import that into whatever database they're using. So don't be afraid to use it. Again, folks are signing up because they want to hear from you, right? So, I mean, if they've already found you interesting enough to sign up for you, right? Reward them with that, with the information they're looking for, more about your products and services, more maybe about you, right? You could be a restaurant and do email marketing to now let folks know that the chef has come up with this new dish, and maybe what the inspiration was behind it, and the ingredients. And hey, next time you're having a special event or celebrating a special occasion, come on in and try this new dish, right? It could be anything like that, really. All right. I'll take a quick breather there. If we have any questions, again, feel free to shoot those in the chat. No question out of bounds, feel free. All right, we're going to go on to some social media here, and it's huge, right? Social media, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's huge. It's growing. It'll get bigger. I mean, it's always there. What I like to tell folks, I mean, as far as social media, no social media account will completely replace your website, right? Which I like to consider your website as the center of gravity for your online business. And that's why I have this kind of graph here where this graphic where, all the social media kind of revolves around your website, because that's exactly what it's, you're going to be getting business, you're going to be getting leads from that website to, from there, right? So you're going to market on Instagram because you want folks to get to your website and do that. Your social media is also a place where you're going to do calls to action, right? If you pay attention to a lot of these posts, right, they'll say, click on the link in my bio to learn more, right? That's a call to action, right? They're letting you know, hey, you're checking out my post. I have your attention while you're here. Since we're not speaking, I want you to learn more about this product or service. Click on the link in my bio to find out more. Now, are they going there, right? What are they doing? That's what you want to know. So when you're looking onto getting social media or getting onto social media to use it for your business, right? These are some of the things you'll want to do. Right? Do your homework. Number one, where are your customers at, right? If you look at some of the data out there now, right? TikTok is where the youngest demographic is, followed by Instagram, and then the older demographic is going to be leaning more towards Facebook, right? So where are your customers, right? And you don't have to be on all the social media platforms at once, and you especially don't want to be posting the same exact information on every single one of them, because if I'm a fan of yours, I'm probably going to follow all of your social. I don't want to see the same post on your Instagram, on your Twitter, and on your Facebook, because then it just kind of gets repetitive and kind of lose interest there. What's your strategy behind getting on social media? Is it, it shouldn't just be for likes and follows, right? That's one aspect of it. But what is it you're really wanting to do there, right? What's going to be your call to action when folks are working with you on social media? Engage with your fans, right? So you have social media. If someone has found you interesting enough to follow you, to start, commenting on your posts, engage with them. That's what social media is there for, is really to interact with a brand or a business and those folks that follow you. So if folks are leaving messages, do your best to reply. If folks are sharing your content, be sure to thank them, or maybe even, repost what they posted about your business, right? Really engaging with them. And you do that by creating shareable content. We'll go into shareable content and measuring your success here in the next slides. Jessica or Wesley, how are we doing on time? I know I need to cover the other piece here. So just if you want to give me.
I think we're doing well.
Okay, cool. All right, so we're talking about shareable content, right? These are going to be some of the examples, and this could be either video or just your text posts or image posts. How-to content is very, very popular, right? Whether it's a video demo, how to do something specific with your product or service, right? That offers incredible value to your customers. Inspirational content, right? We see that a lot now. Making someone's day, motivating them, right? Folks will post those motivational, quotes and things like that to let folks know, to have a better day, to have a better outlook on their day. Emotional content. I love this example here, right? A greeting card company, for example, could show, a child opening a physical card from their grandparents, a birthday card or whatever that might be, versus, and just to remind them that, maybe a video call or text doesn't replace that connection. So really, showing the emotionality of getting that card, cherishing that, holding onto it, something physical there. Going back to a little earlier, reviews and testimonials, even though it's not about you, even though it's about you, it's not from you. Again, that carries a ton of weight. Think about the example I used in when we're talking about restaurants the other day. I go to San Diego, right? I'm in Phoenix. I go to San Diego and we're looking for somewhere to eat. We're going down a busy street. We see a restaurant, a lot of people, it's busy. There might be a line. We go to another similar type restaurant. No one's there. There's no line. It's open, but there's no one there, right? As a human, as a social being, right? I'm gonna look at this busy one and be like, oh, what's going on there that everyone is there? Obviously, maybe it's really good because everyone is there. Maybe this one is not. It could be, but I'm not seeing the social proof there because there's no one there. Maybe, other reasons. This one's an established restaurant. It's been around forever. Maybe just got a write up in the local paper. And this one over here is maybe brand new. Maybe could have opened the other day, but me as a new visitor don't know that. But again, seeing that, I'm going to kind of go towards that. Even if I have to wait, right? I may go there just like, oh, what's all the buzz about, right? That's essentially what you're looking at. That's what a testimonial can do for you. All right, and then insightful, right? That's what we were going to back to the behind the scenes, not afraid to get a little personal, showing your followers what's behind the curtain, right? Because again, if you're a brand and maybe you're just a solopreneur, you're out there, right? You're putting yourself out there and letting folks know, hey, like it was a rough day today, right? I was trying to get all your packages put together, trying to get these shipped out, but man, I broke my ankle. You can see I'm in a cast here. I'm getting your products and services out there. They'll be there, right? Just showing folks know that you're a real person, and we all want to be shopping small anyway, so we want to make that connection with those businesses. Sandals.net is great. Is that your business that you just posted there? Thank you. All right, so what you're on social media, you're trying to figure out, have you done a good job? Like what's working, what's not? Followers, fans, and views, right? Great. If you have a lot of them, what that means is you have this base now that you can interact with, that you can market with, right? Now that hey, I have 100,000 followers, or I've got an email list of 10,000 people. Great. Now you know what your reach is, right? Now you can start figuring out, okay, if I send an email out to 10,000 followers, let's say 1,000 followers, 1,000 of those 10,000, well, let's say half of them, 50% open rate, which is amazing, by the way. It's usually way less than that. Let's say you send out to 10,000, 5,000 actually open the email. Maybe 1,000 actually click on your your call to action button, and so 1,000 went there. Now out of those 1,000, 500 actually clicked into your website, and then 250 actually purchased something, right? So it kind of gives you a sense of what that's going to look like. So if you if your product is a certain dollar amount, knowing, hey, if we get 1% of our followers to purchase, what is that going to equal to in terms of volume of sales, right? Again, doing that on the lower end, but that gives you kind of a sense of what you can do with that. Awesome. Very proud we made it to one of the coolest neighborhoods in the world, number 6. That's awesome. I'll have to check that out. Engagement. Are people responding to and commenting on your content, right? Are they, again, are you posting and no one is reacting, no one is commenting, right? It might be the type of content that you're posting. They're looking for something else, right? So, and if they are, what content is it specifically? If you did a how-to, if you did an inspirational, and you did a testimonial, which ones are they really liking? That's maybe the content you want to focus on. Again, same thing with sharing. What content are they sharing? You may want to focus on that. And then the clicks, right? In your post, if you're posting, click on here and click the link on my bio. Nowadays, you can connect your websites to your social media, and they can buy directly from the apps. Right? How many folks are clicking from there? You'll be able to get that data to see, oh, I had 100 visitors from Instagram onto my website. Right now, I can see that these posts are working. I can see the results there. The action, right? Are they doing what you're asking them to do? Are they clicking the link on my bio? Yes. Are they completing the action that I want them to do when they get to the website? When they've gotten to the website, I'm asking them, fill out this form to get a free consultation, or click on this book appointments button to make an appointment with us, right? What are they doing there? All right, I think our last piece here, mobile, before we go on to payments. Right? Why are we worried about mobile? Because that's where everyone is, right? Your customers are on mobile. That's where everyone is. For specifically for Square Online, which is our website builder, 85% of the orders that are coming through to Square Online websites are coming from a mobile device, right? They're coming from their cell phones, right? That's where everyone is. That's where folks are doing business because it's so easy to be able to do that, right? Your site is mobile friendly. It's easy to do that and set that up. Now, when you look at your mobile website, right, it's a lot simpler than normal. The reason being, right, it's I have the iPhone Max, right, with with a bigger screen, but that's still much smaller, right, than any laptop, desktop computer. So it's going to be your real estate is a lot smaller, usually one column. Your branded, you can still include your branding here, but even like for a large corporation here, right? I have this Nike example here, right? You can see their images have a colored background, right? The background of the website is white, but their images have that really light gray to make the colors pop a little bit more. And then and the just in or the coming soon is that Nike red. That's their main brand color. So adding that color pop there to let you know, yeah, this is the Nike site. This is it. Their branding really simplified for, again, a multi-billion-dollar corporation, right? Their branding is very simplified on mobile because when folks are on mobile, right, you have to attract their attention. There's a lot less real estate to do that there. If you make it really confusing, really jumbled, right, folks are probably not going to interact. They may just go to a different website altogether. But again, your color, your fonts, your logo, your domain name, these are all things that still factor into your mobile site. Your images, especially, right? That's always going to be a huge point of success for any website. If it's your first time, putting up your website, I would absolutely, before putting it out to the public, go through the website step by step. Be your own customer. Go to your website. Go through the entire process. Make a purchase, right? To see what that experience is like, so you know exactly what your customers are going through. So if they, if you have an issue, right, and you're the owner, your customers may as well, and that gives you time to fix that. Let me go back just one here. When we talk about mobile, right? Again, your customers are there. They're there all the time. Thing about mobile is, right, it's aware, right? So when I'm on my phone and I do a search, I can easily do a Google search and it's going to figure out where I'm at, and it's going to say, oh, Wesley has, if I do a search for, pizza shop, San Diego, right? It's going to figure out my location and know, oh, Wesley has a pizza shop 2 blocks away. And it's going to give me directions right to his shop, right? It's aware. It can give me directions, right? And I know that it's local. I can get there. That's what's going to happen, right? So for folks that are coming from out of town, they're almost always going to want to experience the local flavor there, local shops, shop small, right? So the phones, again, them being aware and giving you directions right to your front door is a huge advantage and a way for you to compete with a lot of those bigger businesses. So definitely have your mobile site up and running. Another one is your Google I don't have it on here, but your Google My Business listing. It's free. You can set that up. That's where you can add your images, your phone number, your hours to your Google business listing. When you do a Google search, right, sometimes you'll see that on the right-hand side of the page. Have that on there because again, that's when we go to San Diego anytime. That's the thing we do. We're always looking for local restaurants, local shops. That's what we're doing. And again, because we know we're just going to get directions and it's going to take us right there and we'll be able to shop there. All right. Let me switch over to all forms of payment. I need to grab a piece of hardware here. Give me just a second. But while we're doing that, again, if you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat here. I'll be right back. All right, thank you. Cool. All right, I had to grab my Square chip card reader here. I just clicked on the link there, and scrolling through. And number 6 is Barrio Logan. Of course, I know Barrio Logan. I'm there all the time. Fort Vida Cafe Shop, probably one of my favorite coffee shops out there. Chicano Park, amazing. So that is awesome. Number 6, coolest neighborhoods. All right, so we're going to be talking about accepting just all forms of payment, right? Obviously, you know Square. If you know Square, you probably know what says the little white card reader. I don't even have one here on my desk anymore. Oh yeah, I do. You probably remember us from the little white card reader, right? That changed the game and made like any small business be able to start taking credit cards, right? And I mean, to this day, that reader still serves its primary function of making sure you never lose a sale. So let's talk about, as a business, right, all the different ways you can take a payment. Of course, someone in front of you handing you a credit card, right? That we all know that. That's probably the easiest, most common way of doing that. But let's just thinking outside the box and just kind of showing you all the different ways you can do that. Because again, we never want you to lose a sale. MasterCard, right? We never, as a small business, we want you to be able to take any and all sales that are coming your way. So let's talk about ways you can do that. So let me share a different screen here. Let me see if I can pull this up. There it is. All right, there it is. Okay. Are you seeing my phone screen here now?
Yep, we see your phone screen.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'll do a demo here of this is the Square point of sale, right? So this is obviously free to download. I'm on my iPhone. You can download it for free. Looking at, again, the old way was, the magstripe card reader, which will, eventually go the way of the dinosaur. And, because all of our cards now have, right, the chip card, the chip in it, or even the tap functionality. So that's going to be the prevalent way of doing that. So, right, simple way of taking a payment, right? Someone coming to you, you add in here, charging it, and then of course using your Square card reader, dipping their chip, or they can tap on their phone there as well. Of course, you can always take cash, right? You can always take cash. There's never any fee for taking cash, right, through Square. We're not going to deposit money for you, right? You're just going to take that cash, make that sale go through. Your customer's going to get a receipt, and then that'll be in your data, right? So you can always take cash. You can take gift cards, right? You can sell electronic gift cards on your website, right? That could be a page on your website as well. Purchasing gift cards, someone can take that, give you their code number, put that in there, take a gift card. Gift cards do work in person and online. So, if I went to a business and I purchased a gift card from them, I could use $100 gift card. I could do 50 in person. I could save that other 50 for making an online purchase, right? It works either way. So gift cards is another way, a great way of getting business out there, right? Your fans, right? If I'm a fan of a business, as a gift, I'll usually give a gift card to someone else so they can enjoy that same place of business as well. A great way to get folks to get advertise your business. And if you're like me, I look at a gift card as almost like a coupon, right? So if someone gives me, my mom, my sister gave me a $25 gift card today. And so if I go to a store, I go to that store and I have a $25 gift card, I'm thinking, okay, I have $25 off anything, right? If it's $50, I have $25 off. I have now 50% off, right? Or if it's 100, right, whatever that might be, I tend to look at it that way. And I think most people do too. I don't think most people tend to just look at, oh, I have $25. Let me buy something just under 25 and be done, right? I look at it as, cool, I just came up, I'm using that. So it tends to help increase your overall order size. If you have a customer that you do a lot of business with, regular business with, right, you can save their card on file. It could be something as easy as, a phone call. Hey, Wesley, I went ahead and did your service this week. Did you want me to just charge that card on file for the usual amount? Yeah, go ahead and do that. Perfect. I can do that. Receipt's on its way, right? He didn't have to hand me a card at that point, right? He gets a receipt. Everything's good to go. Made my life so much easier. Similar to that is an invoice, right? So I could send someone an invoice, especially if you're someone doing events, services where you need to invoice someone, and maybe you need to break it up, with a deposit and make, a deposit to hold your services, or maybe a deposit to hold the location, and then the rest when, the event happens, you can do that. You can break it up. You can add a payment schedule and do all of that. Again, that's electronic. You can just send that to them, their email, right? Name, email, and amount, right? They get that. They can pay that securely online, right? The website is secure. They can make that payment. You'll see that that's paid. Let's say you do break that up into two payments of, let's say it's $5,000, right? Let's say first payment is $2,500. They pay that online. Cool. The other $2,500 is due the date of service. I show up. They're like, oh, hey, can I pay you? Can I just pay you now with my card? Yeah, absolutely. You can go to the invoice and you can take the card right then and there. They don't have to then pay that online. So you can actually do both there. You can take the card in person as well. Another way of taking payment. QR code, another really, really popular payment option that QR codes had been around forever and really had their moment in the sun when COVID hit and QR codes kind of replaced, paper menus, right? And you see QR codes on tables and folks just open their phone. They can either just see the menu, or now you can even order directly from there and just have the food just comes to your table. You don't even necessarily, that way you need less staff maybe to take orders, but right, someone just opens their phone, scans the QR code, and they can pay with whatever method they want to pay there. Cash App Pay, that's a Square business as well, right? They can open up their Cash App, scan it there, and they can make payment. Similar with cash, right? You can take checks. We're not verifying the check, right? You're just physically taking the check and then taking that to the bank. But again, so the payment will go through, we'll record the payment, and then it's in your records there. One of my favorites here is send payment link. This is great if you're doing business. Maybe you don't need a full website right now, but you need ways for people to pay you online, right? An invoice, maybe not the way to go. Maybe you're doing, I see this a lot. You're on Instagram, you're making, one-of-a-kind items, you're putting up and you're posting them. Hey, if you want to buy it, message me. Someone, I'm seeing Wesley's name on here. I hit up Wesley on Instagram. Hey, I just saw that cool bomber jacket that you just posted. It's in my size. Has it sold yet? If not, I want to pay for it. Wesley says, man, it's available. If you pay for it, it's yours. I said, cool. How do I pay you? Let me send you a link. I can just go to get a phone number from it or email. I can send him a link. We'll get that text message, right? So now here's the link you can pay. Mike's Bikes is one of my fake businesses here. I can click on the link and I go to checkout.square.site and I can make payment for that quickly and easily online. Now, I'm on Apple, so I can use Apple Pay. If I'm on a Android device or I'm in Google Chrome, I can have Google Pay. Those are automatically enabled as well. No extra fees there for that, right? That's already built in. They can put in their credit card or use Cash App as well and do that. So they can pay me. I'll get a link and obviously a message right away saying, hey, your payment has been made. That's all there. And it's just like being able to go to the website, just like the checkout on a website, right? I can do that. So really light version of e-commerce payments called checkout links. One of my favorite ways for folks to do that now. And I just went really, really simple with my branding here. I mean, you could have your logo here, right? You can, add more color to it. again, I just went real simple here with the default square blue, but so you can do more of that, right? So you can do that. You probably saw, we'll do something new on here, something that we just launched recently. I think this is maybe week 2. You can see here, right? I usually will have the Square contactless chip reader here, right? I can put in a chip card here, or I can tap the top here and I can pay it. So if someone has an Apple or Android, Google Pay, Apple Pay, Samsung Pay, right? They can just tap their phone on here and make payment as well. But we have the new one now, which is tap to pay on iPhone. So you can clearly see it here. Actually, let me do this. Delete that. So this is available now. So we can see now I have $1 charge here. I have taxes set up. So now I have $1.06 in taxes. Let's say I don't have my little white reader. I don't have my contactless and chip reader, but they want to pay me with a card that has tap enabled, or they want to pay me with a phone that has tap enabled. You can see tap to pay on iPhone. I can click that and they can pay me. It won't show up on the screen here. You'll see a loading, but I don't know if you can see that through here. You can see the Apple Pay screen pops up here. And you just put your card right here in order to make a payment, right? So I just put a tap card here. Nope, I didn't hold it there long enough. And that payment gets made. So without any hardware, without any extra device, I just made a payment, right? I just took someone's card just by tapping on my iPhone. That is now available as well. Tap to pay on iPhone through the Square point of sale. You can see here an example. If you don't use Square, there's an example, right? All your receipts are digital. So again, I don't need a printer. On mobile, you're just going to get it via email or text message. My phone number is already in there because I've purchased many things from Square sellers, so I can just send myself a receipt and I can get that via text or via email. Right? Once with whatever card your customer makes payment with, when they ask for their receipt or by email or text, it will connect that card. So the next time they make a payment, their info will already be in there. That's not something you store. Square stores that securely on your behalf. So you saw quickly, easily, we were able to take that payment with the tap card, right, to tap to pay on iPhone. Really, really excited about that new development. Again, that just launched just a little over a week ago. I think we're in week 2 right now. Now, if you're looking to start selling, we make it really easy. You saw you can take a payment super easy with Square. You can start taking payments immediately. Download the app for free, right? You can start swiping all those MasterCards with all those customers that are lined up to take your business or to do business with you. The biggest mistake I see people make, and I don't want you to make it, is they use the keypad here and like I just did, right? They just type in an amount. Cool, that'll be $50. Review the sale, charge it, process it. Your customer gets a receipt. It just says custom amount $50. It doesn't say you just bought this new, ceramic coffee mug or this new, corduroy jacket or whatever your product is, right? Again, you're making the transaction, you're making the sale. That's great, but as you're doing that, you just have a bunch of transactions. You don't really see what is happening there. So what we want you to do instead is create items, right? So we can see here library. And in this case, this is my, this account that I'm signed into is my fake bike shop. It's Mike's Bikes. So I have this bike shop. So I have all my items here, right? So I have bikes. So instead of just typing in a custom amount, I can go to my library and I can put in this bike and review my sale. There's my bike. My inventory is associated with that item as well. And now I can charge it. Customer gets a receipt. It says it's this bike, right? And I can see that bike sold. Now in my reporting, I can see I sold this many of this bike, this many of that bike. I have this many in stock. Actually, if we go down here, I believe I have a bike that's out of stock. So we can see this bike that's sold out. right? It's out of stock. So when I set up a item, I can attach inventory to it as well. So if I add a new bike in here, I can put in, I have 10 of those. And as I sell it, right, it counts down. And then once it's sold, sells out, I can see that it's like, oh, sorry, I'm out of stock. Actually, that might be wrong. Let me look in the back. I think I still have one there. Maybe we had a return or something like that, right? You could still sell it if you wanted to, but like if you do that on your website, you won't be able to do that. So I recommend highly set up your items, go in there, set that up. You can set up categories as well. So if we scroll up a little bit here, we can see I have accessories. That's my accessories category. So now I can just go in there instead of scrolling up and down on that. I normally do this demo in an iPad, but that tap to pay is only available on an iPhone, not on iPad. So I can show that, but hopefully you're able to see this fairly clearly here. So I can go into my accessories and I can just go right into these here and do that. I can do favorites also. Right? I know maybe this can holder is my most common item. I have it under my favorites, so I don't have to search for it. It's right there. And again, you can see here, you can do variations as well. If you want the can bottle holder for your bike, you want it in red, right? I can add that there quickly, easily. So when you set that up, right, what that's going to end up doing for you is it's going to give you a lot of data, right? Data as far as what you're selling, when you're selling it, right? What was the last? Well, we have Halloween coming up, right? So let's say you're going to have a sale for Halloween and you want to know what, day after Halloween, you're in there, man, what did we sell? You kind of have an idea, right? Because you were there, right? You can absolutely see that, but you can go in and you can see all of the data there. I'm going to sign into a Square account here so I can show you what that would look like here. And we'll actually go into some other ways you can take payments as well. You don't necessarily need the Square app. You can be right in your Square account, right in the dashboard. So let me do that here. Okay. So hopefully, are you seeing my screen now, Wesley or Jessica?
It's still loading.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. I see it.
Still loading?
Oh, we see it now.
You said, okay, cool. All right. So we're going to be in a Square account here. So again, as you set up your items, you can go in here and you can just see here's just some of the data that you'll start to get, right? Your sales, this is a fake account, so I don't really do real sales. I do like with freebie cards and things like that. We can see like my net sales, how many transactions I've had, how many were card payments, cash payments. We just saw that $1.06 payment we just made there by a card, right? You can see your top items by sales. Now, I messed up, right? I did a custom amount. So now it's just custom amount. It doesn't really tell me what I sold. If I had used the item, the bike, right, I would see that bike there. It'll tell you what's going on there. So that's just a preview of the data. You can actually go into your reports and see more of that in there and all historical. So from the get-go, right, we want you to set that up. So the more, as you start transacting, doing more sales, more and more data will start to build up. That'll be historical. So, you do a Halloween sale now, next year comes up, you're like, oh, let's do a Halloween sale again. What did we sell the most last year? What didn't sell, right? So you can do a retro of an event and what didn't sell. What do we still have a lot of? Man, no one bought this specific item. Like, let's hold off on ordering more, right? Because we still have a bunch. We don't want to waste, precious capital on buying inventory that's not selling. What is selling? What's popular? Let's invest it in that, right? So you can see that. And again, here you can see our items. Click out of some of these here. We can see our items. We can see the stock that's attached with it and all of that. Now, going into, obviously we have online. So we have, another way of taking payments, right, is a website, right? So let me open up Mike's here, right? So the great thing about Square, is you have your online store, you have your in-person store. These will work together, so they will be syncing. So if I buy something in person or I buy something on your website, that's all in one place, right? That's all going to one central account. Are you guys seeing the bike website now? Yes, okay, perfect. So this is Mike's Bikes, right? This is my fake business. The bikes are real. This is actual bike shop in here in Tempe, Arizona. They're a Square seller, so they let us kind of do a demo with some of their product here. So I built a Square website. These are all the items I sell in my store, right? So I'm a bike shop. I've got a brick and mortar store, right? Bikes are very physical items. So I've got a bike shop. COVID, people aren't coming into the store, but bikes were very, very popular, right? But I don't know, I bought two during COVID. They're collecting dust now, but they were very popular. So what do I want to do? I want to be able to sell online too. I want folks to buy these bikes online and, show up, honk their horn, let me know they're here. I can throw it in their truck. They're gone. I've already gotten payment. It's good to go, right? I can do curbside pickup, in-store pickup. If you're a restaurant, you can do delivery with either your own drivers, or you can connect like an Uber Eats or a DoorDash and have them pick up and deliver for you. Now, folks are ordering directly from your website. They're not ordering through the apps. You're just using them for the delivery portion. And we can see here, there's the bike that we saw that was out of stock. It's out of stock on my website. So if I try to buy it, I can still see it online, but I cannot buy it online. Again, we don't want to sell that. We don't want to have a bad customer experience and to tell them, oh no, that bike was actually out of stock. Well, you should update your website, right? Cool. We don't have to worry about that. This does that automatically. Another way that you can take payments, if you're not familiar with it, is Afterpay, right? Afterpay is the buy now, pay later solution. So you can see here, this bike is $350. It would break it up into 4 payments of $87.50. That's why they call it buy now, pay later. I pay that first payment of $87.50 today. You as the business owner get the $350 today, right? And you get your product. Not sure if anybody remembers layaway. Back in the day, I would go school shopping with my mom in the summertime to get my school clothes for the next year, and we would put it on layaway, right? So get all the clothes I wanted, go to the counter, put it on layaway. She would put a deposit down and make payments on it, right? I didn't get the clothes right then and there. They held it in the back. Once she finished paying it off, hopefully that was before school started. Sometimes not. Once that last payment was made, I got all of my items, right? This is the reverse of that. You're getting your item up front, and then you're making payments. The customer is making 4 payments interest-free, right? They're doing that. Afterpay and Square assume the responsibility of getting those payments. You as the business, you would never know that a payment wasn't made or a payment was late. We wouldn't come after you to get the money back. You got the money back, right up front, or you got the money right up front. It's the sale is done. It's as if someone paid you cash, right? That's done. So that's another way of taking payment. And it works great for some bigger ticket items because folks can break that up, especially if they're already using Afterpay. They're very familiar. We're very strict as far as, if someone ever misses a payment, right, they're not able to buy anymore. So you don't have to worry too much about that. So that's another a form of payment. But again, you can do that. You can connect. I should have kept my. Oh, I do have my phone in there. You can connect your website. Now I can connect this website to my Instagram account, and I can post. For those of you that are on Instagram, you can go into a post and you can click on it. There's like a little shopping bag on there, and folks can buy right from your Instagram post. You can do that with your Square account as well. You can do that with Instagram. You can do that with a Facebook shop, and you can do that with Google Shopping. We have a Pinterest integration as well. There was a TikTok integration, but I believe they're halting that. They're kind of revamping that. But you can still obviously demo your products and services on there and link them to your website. So these are other channels that, right, you have your main website, like we talked, your center of gravity, your online presence. You've got all these other sales channels that all feed into your website. Real simple site that I built showcasing my featured items, my Instagram account, my location. I've got my email sign up here, right? We talked about email marketing. I've got that here, right? Get the latest when you sign up for our newsletter. Then on here, I've got my social media icons, my logo. I have actually a pretty bare footer, so not practicing what I preach there. All right, some other ways, we saw the checkout links earlier. For any of you that are doing donations, are doing events, right, you can do that as well. So let's go here to payments and online checkout. So again, so on this brick and mortar store, right, this Mike's Bikes, my son is building my website for me. It's not up and ready yet, but I get a phone call. Hey, I would like to buy this bike. Do you have this specific model bike in black? I sure do. Do you want to come in and buy it? Ooh, I'm kind of worried about COVID or whatever that might be, right? Can I pay for it online and just do like curbside pickup? I don't have a website up and running, but I can send you a link. You can pay that right now, right? So there's this bike. I can send the link. I can email it to them. I can send it to their phone number, or I can copy the link. Again, something that social media example, right? Somebody, I'm advertising my bikes on Instagram. Someone says, hey, I would like to buy this black 7-speed fat tire cruiser. Cool, here's a link, pay for it, I'll get it shipped to you. I just send them this link, they go to checkout, and they can buy that bike, right? Again, my website's not up and running. My son's still building it. He's taking his sweet time, but I got customers that want to buy online. I can just send them this link and they can go in there and pay that. Now, this integrates with all your other products and services with Square. So if you're offering coupons, discounts, right, those will work on here. If you're offering gift cards, those will work on here as well. If you're offering a loyalty program, that will work here as well. So like loyalty, right, buy 10 coffees, get the 11th free. That will integrate as well. Let's do, I think I have a class here. I actually have a bike tune-ups here. So let me copy this link. So this one for the bike shop here, I have a monthly membership for bike tune-ups. So we can see it's $25 a month, right? So someone can go here, sign up, pay $25 a month. Maybe they want to put in a note here what kind of bike it is. They make a payment, and then right here, by subscribing, you agree to the terms of service. Today is October 13th, so your next payment is going to be on November 13th, right? So they're subscribing to this bike tune-up service every month. This could be any service, right? You could do that. It could be monthly, it could be weekly, it could be quarterly, whatever you want it to be. We have donations here as well, right? You can do a link for donations. If you already have a website, maybe you have a website up and running already, you like it, you don't want to change it, right? We're not here to sell you Square Online and, oh, you have to rebuild your whole site with us. You can integrate them, right? You can just add the capability to sell. You can even add a button here. So this is a donations example. I can put in, 500, whatever amount I want to do. I can make it a one-time payment, or I can make it a monthly payment, and again, do donations that way. So a couple different ways you can do that. I don't know if I have a class on here. Let's see if maybe this is still good. If you're selling classes, right, you can send out this link. Nope, this is an art class that ended. It was in a physical location. Send me to the map. And this ended, so it's $25. It was this date and time, this location, right? You add it to the cart, you make your purchase, you can sell tickets to events that way as well. Really simple, really easy. Again, you can kind of change some of the branding here. Let's say in my case, I'm selling bikes. Maybe I'm only selling one or two types of bikes. I don't want to have a whole website that. I have a website that says, hey, we're Mike's Bikes. We're in Scottsdale, Arizona. This is the bike that we sell. Maybe I specialize in a specific bike, or maybe a specific item, right? I can add a buy button here. You can create a buy button, and it'll give you the code to put on your existing website. Maybe you have a website with WordPress, Squarespace, Wix, whatever that might be. Right? You're like, I don't want to change the site. I just want to add a button so folks can buy the product that I sell with Square in person already. Perfect. Create this buy button, get the code, take it to your website, add that button on your site. They're on your site, they can make payment. It's done. It syncs with your Square account, right? Easy to do that. Really simple. You can easily share here through Facebook, through Twitter as well. QR code, right? If I wanted to add a QR code, maybe make stickers of it or post it up around the neighborhood, whatever I wanted to do, right? I could put that QR code up and about. People could scan it. It would take them to buy a ticket, membership, a donation, a product, right? You could do that as well. So just thinking about all these different ways that you can offer folks to make a payment to you to be able to do that. Again, most of these are going to be digital. That's the route most are going, right? Of course, there's still many options for taking payments in person, but just looking at all the different ways that you can do that outside of just, taking a physical card. There's many ways of doing that. What else do we have here? I think that's it. So we have questions, concerns. Happy to take them all if we have any. Happy to talk more about Barrio Logan with Sands here. So whatever we want to do.
This was great.
I think
Very
I covered that.
informative. Yeah, my favorite part was the videos and going over that content. That was great.
Awesome. Yeah, and I can share the deck with you guys if you want that. I know you guys are recording this, but if you want the deck, I can send that as well. This one's more kind of demo, so it's hard to do a deck for it, but you guys have it recorded, so you feel free to share that there. But yeah, online checkout, again, website, social media, links, text messages, emails. I mean, there's tons of ways that you can take payments digitally. It's really just limited by your imagination nowadays.
Perfect. Yeah, if anyone had any questions, please put them in the chat. We will be sending an email to all of the attendees with the recording and then the slides that were shared during the presentation. And yeah, thank you for joining. Thanks again, Martin, for this presentation. Thank you to our partners, Square, MasterCard, Asian Business Association, and SBDC for this workshop as well. All right.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing some in-person workshops with y'all there in San Diego.
Yeah. Come on by. All right. So that is all we have for today. Let me stop this recording.